we are, round 3, Daytona Milton Keynes. At the moment, we are level on points coming into round 3. Last time out at Buckmore, the most insane race I've ever had. I don't know about you.
Bro, it was ridiculous.
If you have not seen it, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but
you need to watch it.
It was absolutely mental. Go and watch it. It was the wettest race I've ever been in, and the lights went out as well. I don't want to spoil anymore. Go watch round 2. But yeah, in the DMAX D40, 40-minute race, I believe, in like 10 minutes quali at Milton Keynes. I've been here once before. He never has. He's going to absolutely milk it, by the way. Oh, he's been around here once.
If Aldous beats me, it's because I have beaten him before. If he doesn't beat me and I win, then I'm just exceptional, aren't I?
Here we go. Round 3 coming up.
Here we are then getting into the race, and for the first time this series we are doing a rolling start. Now this will not be the final time in this series, but it definitely kind of brings something a little bit different, and this was really interesting. As far as qualifying, I qualified down in P6. Looking back at the footage, I was just kind of blocked on a lot of laps and couldn't get a clean run. As you can see, a lot more people with their own helmets, which means a lot more sweaty and quicker drivers. Here we are, rolling start, waiting for the green, and there we go. The race is go. Immediately dropping down into P7 as there is someone on my inside. I think about the inside, but I go for the outside, try to avoid any carnage, but no, big collision. I almost get sent into the barriers, but just managed to make it out alive, and that is why I took the outside line. Let's take a look at that replay again of the beginning. It was just basically a bunch of people on the inside braking way too late, and you can see each of them bumping. JB almost get taken out. It's a massive concertina effect, and I'm heading straight for the barriers, but I kind of hit them. I kind of hit the tires at the right angle to not get taken out, because that could have been race ending right there. So immediately avoiding some trouble right from lap 1, and the race got red flagged immediately because there was a massive pile up, and by the time I see the red flag, I'm trying to brake, but nothing is happening. The brakes are completely cold, and the car is barely stopping, and you can see there's a bit of a pile up here as well. And yeah, the race did get restarted a few minutes later, and we are back under yellow, so they kind of had to clean up the pile up on lap 1. And to be fair, for a lap 1, you know, up into P5, gaining a position, you know, can't be too mad at that. So yeah, definitely a dramatic start to round 3 at Milton Keynes. I love this track so much. It's very flowing, it's very fast. But here we go, back under racing conditions. There is the green, and you can see I get caught napping a little bit because JB kind of has a few car lengths on me. So immediately I have a little bit of work to do just to catch him up. And currently in P5, so again, not too bad of a start, gaining a position. That's exactly what you want. Now, on this lap, look at the car ahead of JB. He goes a little bit wide on the quickest part of the track and completely loses it. That is very easy to do. That is the quickest corner. And if you go wide and keep your foot in, the car, it can be very unstable because it's also a bit of a downhill corner as well. So yeah, he lost it, but his loss is our gain. And that means JB is up onto the podium and we are up into P4. JB gets a bit of a rough exit here, and I tried to get the run on him, and this was so much fun. I had a little bit of a weight advantage, so I was a little bit quicker on the straights compared to JB, but yeah, this was just so much fun. To be fair, apart from round 1, we didn't really get too much time to race at Buckmore between me and JB, so this was a much more different race. This was me versus him for quite a lot of it. A lot of kind of, you know, feeling out the other driver, where he's a little bit quicker, where he's a little bit slower, where I can overtake him. But immediately we get into more backmarker madness, and traffic management is massively important. You can see a huge amount of traffic in front of us. We both go down the inside. I follow JB, and the guy in front gets caught in the traffic, and we move up into P3. So let's take a look at that again. Now, you can see one of the drivers in front. He is actually the guy in P2, the guy with the multicolored helmet, and he doesn't basically navigate the traffic as well as we did, because we dived it down the inside. He follows the guy in front, and as the car spins, he gets caught in the accident and he drops down the field as we make our way through. So I talk about so much in this series how traffic management is one of the most underrated skills in racing, and that is where me and JB managed to choose the right option of going down the inside. Now, already I'm chasing down and putting the pressure on JB. He went a little bit wide there, and yet again going into this corner, trying to break in a straight line. Yet again, he goes a little bit wide, and I get a really good run on him, and here we go. We are now side by side. This is absolutely incredible, honestly, when you're actually side by side at the quickest point of the track. I think about going down the inside, get a really big squeeze from JB, but he gets actually hit from behind, and although I get overtaken, he does let me by because we do go into a yellow flag zone. So I got a little bit lucky there because I did get overtaken down the inside, but yeah, the other driver let me by because obviously we were in a yellow zone. He gives me a bit of a tap there, you saw, because I was driving a bit slow under yellows there, but yes, that was a very close one, and you know, I'm feeling it at the moment, both the pressure from behind, so I've got to get the move done at JB. Once again, I see another spot opening up. I think about going down the inside, but it's just too tight there. You want to be braking here in a straight line, and I tried to get a really good exit, but yeah, didn't quite get that launch off the corner. Again, I think about sending it down the inside, but it's just too tricky. So at this point, I'm focusing on the next corner. And then out of nowhere, the guy that was behind me, he absolutely sends it. He locks up and almost hits JB and spins himself out. Let's take a replay of that again. That was total carnage. So at this point, I know that I'm not going to take JB ahead of me. I'm already focusing on the next corner, and I think he tries to overtake me and completely outbrakes himself, almost spins JB and spins himself in the process. So yeah, that is just the carnage of this race. So luckily for us, it does mean a little bit less kind of pressure is off my shoulders because the guy behind me, I see a gap opening. I try to go down the inside. It's a bit of a light-hearted move from me. Did nothing quite doing there, but JB did leave the space open. So yeah, I tried to go for it, but nothing doing, unfortunately. But again, I'm just trying to put the pressure on JB, let him know that I am there, and I am going to capitalize on whatever mistake he makes. I lose a bit of traction here, not the best exit for me. And yeah, to be fair, at this part of the track, we just couldn't overtake because we were just too similar. We both had the right kind of line. We knew where to defend. I tried to kind of look a tiny bit down the inside, but I know that the next corner he's going to have the inside to it, so there's no point in me trying to do anything. I think about doing the switch back to get a really nice run out the corner, but the rear of the car just steps out on me, so I don't get that launch out the corner, annoyingly. But here we go. This is where I was quicker than JB. If I could just get the right kind of exit on this straight, I could overtake him, and bang, I get a brilliant exit, a really nice speed out the corner. Once again, side by side, this is my moment. This is where I am going to overtake him. On the inside, on the curb, I tried to give him a bit of space, give him a bit of a squeeze, check over the shoulder, brake late, and I get the move done. Very happy, up into P2. Honestly, that move felt absolutely amazing. And yes, that definitely felt good, overtaking my championship rival. But immediately backmarker madness as the slower car in front of us actually moves onto the racing line, and I can see that he's a little bit twitchy here, so I give him a bit of space as he spins in front of me. I get tagged a little bit, almost into the tires yet again, and even then, if I followed him super close, I would have got caught in his spin, and that would have been potentially, race over for me. I would have dropped down the field and given the space to JB. So yes, traffic management, that is the name of the game. And luckily we skip forward a little bit to lap 11. And this time, once again, two karts in front of us. And it's just about reading where they're going to be, looking for the opportunities. Now, both of them are almost side by side. I see the gap in the middle. I absolutely send it on the brakes. Kind of go a little bit wide, which kind of ruins me for the next corner. But luckily, I still get the run out. One of them actually outbrakes himself and bang, gives me a bit of a punt from behind. But yeah, luckily, that didn't take me out. I check my shoulder to make sure that he doesn't stick it down my inside. And here, once again, this was a really fun move, actually, because I read him like a book. I knew that he was going to take the shallow line. I focus on the exit, and look at that drive out the corner. That was beautiful. I love those moves where you can read what the car ahead of you is going to do, and you just execute it absolutely perfectly. Now, this is what happens, this was a few laps later, and this is what happens when you lose the concentration for a single corner. Here I think about going a little bit wider and using a bit more of the curb, and bang, I spin it. And that is what happens when you kind of take things for granted, when you take liberties with the track, and that was a much kind of bigger curve that just unsettles the car, and that is what happens when you lose concentration for just one corner. That is how quickly things can go wrong. So yeah, it was a big kind of wake-up call, because this is quite a few laps later where I was kind of just in my own race. But you can see the car ahead of me is actually the guy that sent it on the first kind of opening laps and spun out. He's actually in a different kart now, and he's actually a back marker, so he's a few laps behind, but I didn't know that. So he was definitely, I didn't realize this at the time, but I thought this was for position. I thought I got overtaken, and I knew that he was going to be quick, as obviously he's the guy that was battling for the podiums at the beginning, so this was also a bit of a fun battle as well. I'm chasing him down. He swapped karts at one point, and we get slowed a little bit by this back marker. I'm looking for my opportunity. He goes a little bit wide. I see the space opening. I dive it down the inside, and a little bit of rubbing there as well, just to kind of make sure that he doesn't cut in front of me. And we still go side by side. He is still there. I've got to be super careful. And in this corner, I managed to brake late and kind of squeeze him out a little bit. So yes, I got the move done. That was also a really fun one to make. But you can see I just missed the apex there as the rear of the car was stepping out on me. He is still right there, bumper to bumper. I've got to be super careful. Once again, the car is stepping out, and you can see the shadow actually when you're driving. You see where the car is. He thinks about sending it down the inside, but I know that as long as I keep this outside line, it means in this next corner, I have got the inside, brake very early to make sure that I get a good run. And yes, I managed to make the move stick and just check over my shoulder to make sure that he's not overtaking me. A few laps later, we are coming towards the end of the race, and unfortunately, there was another kind of incident, so we are under yellow flags. And this is where the leader of the race, who was only a few corners in front of me actually for most of the race, just completely got away, because under yellows, you're kind of dictated, your speed is dictated by the karts ahead of you, and I was going very, very slowly, whilst the leader under yellows was going a hell of a lot quicker, as I found out. So it meant that I couldn't challenge for the lead, but here we are looking with just a few more laps to go. We're looking for that green, and look on the right side of the screen where the marshal is, and there's the green flag. I notice it, these two are napping. I overtake this car on the outside and this one on the inside, dive down the inside, and a really fun move there. I love catching people asleep, and that was definitely a fun one to end the race. But that was it. P2, lap 29, moving over to lap 30 now as we round the final corner, and there is the checkered flag. P2 from P6, very happy with that performance. I do wish that I qualified a bit better, because I do think I could have challenged for the win. We give a little fist bump there. That was a really good race with that guy actually as well. But yeah, P2, I am very happy with that race, very happy with some overtaking, and yeah, very good points moving forward. Here are the final standings at the end of that race. I came home in P2 on the podium with JB just behind me in third, which I was very surprised about because, again, I thought that person that I was fighting at the end of the race was for position, so I was very surprised to see JB on the podium, but nevertheless. Now, you can see we're 35 seconds back. The gap actually wasn't that big compared to the leader, but again, we got slowed down by the yellow flags and how slow the traffic in front of us was driving, and also, unfortunately, we don't have any information about the fastest lap because, yeah, unfortunately, at Daytona, they don't use Alpha Live timing, so yeah, that's a little bit frustrating, but nevertheless, it is still a big bunch of points, and as far as what that means for the championship standings, I am once again in the lead by just 1 point on 25, with JB just 1 point back on 24, so basically nothing as we head into the last 2 rounds, and still all to play for the YouTuber Karting Championship.
Round 3 is over. But double podium, unfortunately for JB. I was fuming. Second place, at now 1 point ahead in the championship. I thought I was going to dust you after a few rounds, but he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there.
It was damage limitations today, boys. I didn't have the pace about us in the race. Outqualified him though, so like I should have had the pace, but I wasn't on it though. So yeah, fair play to Aldas. He drove well today. I got lucky with my P3. It's got to be said. I got lucky.
When I saw him on the podium, I was fuming.
Bro, you need to watch my video and just see the sliminess I pulled. It was nasty. JB
he's honestly, he's like Max Verstappen. He just gets given these results, mate.
This was Max Verstappen Russia 2021. That's what I pulled right there.
Oh, mate. But anyway, that is round 3 over of a YouTuber championship. I am now 1 point ahead, just 1 point. To be fair though, if you have a shocking race next time out and I get a win, I wrap the championship up, mate.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, for that you should unsubscribe to Aldas. That was horrendous.
Once again, that is round 3 over, double podium, second place, and of course we'll see you for the 4th round of our YouTuber Karting Championship. We'll see you there.
Cheers, you lot.